Talk a little bit of SEC with you. Georgia's won 2 national championships in a row. What are the odds of 3 in a row?
Logically, you'd say not very good because it's hard to win 1 in a row. It's really hard to win 2 in a row, and the fact that nobody has really done it in the modern era tells you that. But if anybody can do it, as you sit there and look at this Georgia roster, they've recruited so well the last 5 years under Kirby Smart. They replace really good players with really good players. Then you look at their schedule outside of that trip to Tennessee on November 18th. It's not a very hard schedule, and because they play in the East, they get South Carolina at home. So if Carson Beck, the quarterback, turns out to be what we think he is, I don't think he's a Stetson Bennett, but I think he's a very good quarterback for what they want to do. So I think they are capable of winning another national championship.
It's interesting to say that I don't think he's a Stetson Bennett. 3 years ago, what were the odds that Stetson Bennett would have won 2 national championships?
I will tell you a story that backs that up. 2 years ago, not last year, but 2 years ago at the Georgia-Florida games, Stetson Bennett had become the starting quarterback. Georgia was like 6-0 and 7-0 when they go to Jacksonville to play Florida. Well, I go down there with some of my good friends every year and tailgate with them a little bit before I go to work. And so I'm tailgating with my boys, and all of a sudden here comes a Georgia fan. He's dressed in red from head to toe. He just walked up to me, didn't know who he was. He just said, "Now, Tony, you understand, we cannot beat Alabama and win a national championship with Stetson Bennett as our quarterback." I said, "Dude, you're undefeated in the top 6." He said, "I'm just telling you, we can't do it." Well, we know what happened. They won the 2021 national championship. Well, the following spring, I speak to the Terry College of Business alumni. That's the business school at Georgia. And I'm doing my little song and dance, and then I do the Q&A. Third question in the Q&A, the guy says, "Now, Tony, you understand, there's no way we can win another national championship with Stetson Bennett as our quarterback." I said, "Dude, I don't know that. I don't know that at all." Well, we know what happens. They go 15-0, win a national championship. So then I'm speaking to the same group about a month ago, and some guy doing the Q&A said, "Well, Tony, there's no way that we can win a 3rd straight national championship because we don't have Stetson Bennett anymore." I'm going so. Stetson Bennett, of all the stories I've covered, and particularly at the University of Georgia, his is just remarkable. Because the coaches tried to run him off. I mean, the coaches said, when are one of you guys going to beat this guy out? Because he's not that good. He knew how to play the game.
You mentioned the trip to Tennessee for Georgia. What kind of job do you think Josh Heupel has done in Knoxville?
The great thing that Josh Heupel did, and this is his first year, in his first year, is that he established exactly what the playing identity would be for Tennessee. We know what he wants to do. It's clear. A lot of schools, you look out there and they're running that. What are they doing? What are they trying to do? You know exactly what Josh Heupel wants to do. And then, of course, Hendon Hooker was just incredible. And so I think he's established that identity. Now you recruit to that identity, and now we get to find out if, Joe Milton can make all the throws. Do you go with does the freshman play a role in any of this? I think it's going to be a fascinating story to watch.
Alabama goes into this season probably with the most uncertainty at quarterback in at least 6 years. What do you see for Alabama? Well,
here's the thing, Jimmy. Alabama hasn't just gotten good quarterback play. They've got elite quarterback play for the last 5-6 years. And is Jalen Milroe going to be that guy? The thing is, it's usually not a good sign when you bring in a quarterback after spring practice. So I think that there's a lot of questions there. But, I just got this feeling that Nick Saban has his guys in full-blown revenge mode. You remember that deal where he made the well, we should have been in the college football playoff because I got people telling me that we'd have been favored over 3 of them. He didn't think for 1 minute that his team should have been in the playoffs. What he was doing is what he always does. He's talking over our heads in the media to the players saying, "Hey, you guys got hosed by the selection committee. And nobody believes you can win." And so we'll see when they play Texas in Tuscaloosa on the 9th. But I just got a feeling that Alabama, all these people have been writing well, the beginning, the end is near for Nick Saban, and come on, dude.
That's rat poison, isn't it?
That's totally rat poison. That's as rat poison as it gets.
LSU, they win the West with Jaden Daniels at quarterback, a transfer quarterback.
Yep.
Would you favor LSU to win the West again?
If you're looking at it logically, which of course we never do, and I never do, logically LSU has more talent across the board. And people are going to have to get used to this. Brian Kelly's a really good coach. People need to figure that out. And he did a great first-year job at LSU because, their first game when they played Florida State, they looked horrible. It was a horrible-looking team. So, logically, you should pick LSU. I'm not picking LSU because I'm not doing anything intelligently or logically. I'm just doing it's an emotional pick more than anything else. But from a sheer talent standpoint, LSU is in great shape. Now they play Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and that may be big.
We've hit on 4 of the best teams in the league. Is there a potential surprise team, somebody to watch out for we didn't talk about?
I would just keep your eye on Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky had some real issues offensively last year. Will Levis stayed beat up most of the time. They didn't really their offensive attack wasn't very good. They couldn't run the ball, but first of all, they bring Liam Cohen back from the NFL, who was there when Will Levis had his big year as a junior. So he is back. They bring in the quarterback from NC State, Devin Leary, who had a great year 2 years ago for NC State. So I think they've got that solved. They've been good defensively for a long time under Stoops, and they'll be good again. So that's a team you better sort of keep an eye on. Are they better than South Carolina? Maybe. We'll see. But I think in the East it's Georgia and Tennessee, and then we'll see about everybody else. And by the way, that's the last time. This is the last time we're going to say the Eastern Division after this year's over.
That's exactly right. Tony, great to catch up with you. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Always good to
see
be
you,
with you.
sir.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.